Namaste. The divine in me honors the divine in you. Welcome to Cafe Stout. Welcome to Cafe Stimulate. Thanks for stopping by and having coffee with me today. Today, I have a wonderful topic I wanted to share, and it is called the Golden Rule. Now, I know that many of you probably have heard it, but if it's your first time hearing about it, then here we go. It says to do unto others what you will have done unto you. And so I'm going to go through, I have some notes that I have taken, and I'm going to go through different religions and places where this same rule keeps going. This is actually a universal rule, not just in the Bible, because Jesus says, he was like, what are the most greatest commandments? And he said, one, to love the Father with all thy heart, all thy soul. And the other one is to do unto others as you will have done unto you. Why is that? Just by understanding those, two things, you don't really need to worry about the understanding of anything else, because it's all rolled up into that golden rule. And it's important to learn, because this will stop many cycles of cause and effect, cycles that go on in life with you. So when you know this and you learn how to act accordingly in certain situations, you understand, like, you know what? This golden rule is embedded in me, and I'm going to decide to handle the situation this way, because I don't want to get tied up in any karmic ties with anybody. I like my energy to flow free. I like my blessings to keep coming. Like, I don't want nobody that comes sideways at me to stop it or block it because I done created some kind of karmic tie with somebody. No, that's why we are also called to be, people of order, people who actually forgive and able to, to really come on board with people into coming together. Now, even though I say that because we understand energy, and some people would only there are people that would try to get back in your good graces just so they could come in your life and do some damage. I had that happen before. Oh yeah, yeah, me too. I'm sorry too. And then only so that they can come in and gain more access to you so they can do some more damage somehow. There are people out there like that. Very sad, but let that not be you. Don't you get tied up in that, because you don't want, anybody's karma. And so let's talk about all the way, around the world where they state this golden rule. First, I have Buddhism. It says, treat not others in ways that you yourself would find hurtful. That's Buddhism. Okay. Confucianism. I probably didn't say that right. Confucianism. One word which sums up the basis of all good conduct: loving kindness. Do not do to others what you do not want done to yourself. This is the golden rule. Do not do to others what you don't want done to you, because it's written in the laws of the universe. The universe is a mirror, and all it does is reflect. It's constantly reflecting back to you what it sees in you. I don't care how nice and how somebody be trying to be, vibes don't lie. You can't escape the universe when it comes to your vibration. You may be fooling people down here on the physical realm, but that energy don't lie. Theoism. Regard your neighbor's gain as your own gain, and your neighbor's loss as your own loss. That's also a wonderful saying too, because we are all energy. It says when your neighbor's gain is your gain. Let me tell you something. When I used to go to people's weddings, when I was there, I embodied the moment. I tried to be just as happy, that it's happening as the bride is. And this is back when I was single. And, I used to go to a lot of weddings, and I used to be a wedding photographer. And I tried to, and I was very happy for the moment, because it's like when you connect with an energy in that way, you kind of embody it. It's almost like if God allowed you to go, if God allowed you to be there, you being there in the presence, in the midst of all of that, it's just like you're being, like your blessing is in the neighborhood. So instead of being jealous of people, of what they have, when somebody has something wonderful that happens in their life, you celebrate with them. Because if it was something actually that you also wanted to possess, God allowing you to be in that vicinity is just like putting you on that frequency. You're joining in on that frequency of somebody who's already received. Remember, when you are calling in your blessings, you have to match the frequency, of that blessing. If somebody around you has pulled that in, their manifestation has come in for them, then it's only a moment of time until, that same thing will happen for you. It also says, count your neighbor's loss as your own loss. When somebody has a loss, how you kind of, you as empaths, I'm not saying everybody, because everybody is not in tune, with things like that. But until you do, you're not saying that you can't grow in that way. You spending time and introspection and with God and just really going within, you will get tapped in. So if somebody loses something, I remember I had a friend, that lost a house, and I really did mourn, for her, because, it was a beautiful home. But what was the blessing was because she's such a beautiful soul. She was like, it's okay. She said they were, things, material things. She was just like, my family is safe, and, we, have a place to stay and things like that or whatever. She was just like, it's fine. But in the midst of that, because we had so many, fun times, at her house, you join in on that sorrow, and you join in on that loss, as if, you lost it, it's like, but why is the reason for that? It's because you're humble enough to understand that happened to somebody, and that you are not so, how can I say, it can happen to you. Okay? It can easily happen to you. And so even though God may not that experience, that you might not get that experience. Oh my gosh, my words. Get that experience. You are also learning and taking it on as wisdom. The beautiful thing that, she told me was that it's okay. She was like, how her family was doing and things like that. So one day, not saying if it would happen, or I'm trying to call in things for things that happen to me or things like that or whatever, but if it were to happen, I would look back on that situation and how gracefully she handled her situation, and thought, you know what, if my family's okay, we're alive, we can always, start from scratch and do it. It is possible. So it's the things that we're learning and wisdom from each other, that you don't always have to go through somebody's experience to actually learn something from other people's experiences to be able to count it as wisdom. Okay, this is a different word. Sikhism. Sikhism. Okay. It says, I am a stranger to no one, and no one is a stranger to me. Indeed, I am a friend to all. Woo! This is how I take that. Okay, this is how I take this. I don't have no enemies. Okay, I personally don't have no enemies. I don't have no space in my heart for that type of stuff, nor do I have the energy. I got too much stuff to be worried about than to be worried about, like, other people. So people may, as you are a spiritual being and your energy may ruffle some feathers, it can happen, and people may think in their minds somehow that y'all are some kind of enemies or whatever. That's on them. But as for you and how you feel about the situation, you have no enemies. I make no enemies, but it doesn't mean that there aren't people that are going to be out there that try to make themselves your enemy. But it talks about I am. He says, I am a stranger to no one. I will go out my way as a stranger, as I've done many a times, to help other strangers, because there have been strangers that came out their way to help me. And that is a blessing. So I am a friend to all. I would like to think of myself, you know what I'm saying, as a friend to all. Say we can only try, but hey, take the information, and what you can learn from it. And yeah. You have Christianity, which says, in everything, do to others as you would have them do to you. For this is the law, and the prophets. Okay? So I just explained that in the beginning, to do unto others. Don't do anything to anybody that you don't want done unto you, because in spirituality, we do believe in reincarnation, especially back on this planet, to get all the learning and lessons that our soul needs to grow. So, and some of y'all, we're living the past, present, and future simultaneously. So your past life, there are things that happen in your past life that you have experienced in your previous life that you are experiencing in this life. You carried that over. A lot of that is stuff, all that do unto others. So for example, you have parents and you're like, I really don't like the way I was raised. Well, then remember, in a past life, you probably could have been a parent. And however you treated your children, now that you come into this world, then you were probably getting parented the same way that the way you was parented. And if you don't like how the way that you were parented, the thing that you take away from it is the part that you acknowledge that you didn't like it. You're like, I didn't like it. So what would you change? So now that you are a different being, and you have a chance to do it all over again, how would you parent? Okay, you see how this is working out? Do unto others. Okay, all right. So if there's something in your life that you don't like what's going on, then you have the power to change it, so that you or anybody else, that's in your vicinity don't get to experience such things. Like in the present, you have the present. As you live right now, still using the same example, you are a parent now. Okay? So you're being the parent that you would want, you doing unto others that you would want to happen to you is what you want your children, to be. And so that is carrying on, because that's going to be a part of your future, your next life. Okay? So we're in this constant cycle of creation. You're creating. So whatever you're creating right now, it's about taking on, the art of the beauty of creation and living in the moment. As you live in the moment, you are able to say, okay, you're able to focus and be present and say, I am intentionally doing this. You know what? I'm intentionally enjoying what I'm doing, and the things that I don't enjoy doing, I try not to do, because I don't want to have that problem in the future with always tying myself up in things that I really just don't want to be a part of. I just really don't want to do. It's about freedom. We want to be free souls, right? But if we don't free ourselves from the limiting beliefs, if we don't free ourselves from the things that keep blocking us and holding us back now, we don't take those things and count them as wisdom, then we just leave it for, the future, as future things to come, or to future things to learn. So the whole point of all this is to learn, let go, learn the art of detachment, because the root of all suffering is attachment. The things we're trying to be attached to, you don't really want to be attached to any of these things. It's okay for you to experience the things, because everything is down here experience. Like, God don't want you broke. You can have wealth, and you can have things, and there's never been nothing wrong with having all those things. It's your attachment to these things is a problem when, a situation comes along and then God is allowing certain things to be taken from you or extracted from you. Are you going in full panic attack, or are you embracing, like the element of water and the flow of life and adaptability? I just watched a video of a woman, she had to live in her car, but it didn't seem like, it's not like she wanted people's sympathy for her living in her car. She was actually, showing her adaptability. Like, she had her car and she organized everything. This is what I got this, and this is where I got the cat food, because she had a cat with her. And she made a bed and all these certain things, and everything was all kind of hooked up. I seen another lady do it to a van. And, I don't see it as anything to be ashamed of, because I also see it as part of the process. And sometimes a part of the process is called the void. Going down in the void, and sometimes on this physical realm, there may be a time where you can get down to like less material things, but it's, only for a time. It's a time where, if that's where God put you so that he can really connect with you and really speak to you, he will. And he does that really so he can really deeply connect with you for the next time, when he takes you to where he wants you to be. You will be so grateful. You'll be so humble, and you'll be able to, share that time in a way, because remember, on this level of where we're at in the physical realm, it's also about the realm of survival. It's the root chakra. You got to think of it as the root chakra. And what do we need to come here and learn about the root chakra? Is to be grounded, and how to be stable. Like stable what? Inward. It's about everything inward. And it usually has to happen inward, before it can happen, on the external levels. Now, for some people, because this is about polarity, some people can have all the external things. They can have the houses, they can have the cars, they can have all that. But inwardly, they're not grounded. They're not stable. You can't catch them outside. You can't catch them out in nature, really fully enjoying themselves and really taking the beauty of nature, because they're not grounded in that way. And then you got somebody who doesn't have all those external things, who is really deeply connected and can appreciate the moment of just being God's creation. And that's beautiful. So let me get back on track, because I always get all ADD. Here you go. Unitarianism. I think I said it right that time. We affirm and promote respect for the. We affirm and promote respect for the interdependent web of all existence, of which we are a part. Yes, we respect everybody. And I believe I'm connected in that way, because I learned to respect all. And however they choose to do things, you just have to think about that, because wherever people are, whatever religions they were in, God put them in those places. We be acting sometimes like a baby just popped up there, and they're supposed to be, they're at where they're supposed to be at. Everybody is exactly where they're supposed to be. Okay? And I respect that. However you praise God and how you do it, that's how you do it. If you getting answers and God is coming through for you, well, yay. Okay? So we have to learn on this earth to really learn how to respect. How are we supposed to be a planet of, togetherness, if we're always trying to separate each other by small little things? And also separating ourselves by religion, we like putting those walls between ourselves. We actually could come together in this world and make a difference if we can learn where man has caused the divides. Okay? Because your relationship with God is your relationship with God. However you do, to me, as long as you make an acknowledgement that there is something spiritual some governing authority over you that you respect and keep you in line, then hey, who am I? So it says native spirituality. We are as much alive as we keep the earth alive. Wow. Okay. And you know what? As soon as I saw native spirituality, it made me think about Pocahontas. In the movie Pocahontas, she was really trying to teach, John Smith about connecting. He was so worried about going around the earth conquering and trying to own the earth that he wasn't able to make a spiritual connection with the earth to really understand its beauty and its power. She was like, can you paint with all the colors of the wind? See, and he was so busy trying to conquer land, kill people, that he was on that colonizer stuff, that they never made a spiritual connection that, she said, you think that the only people who are people are the people who look and think like you. But if you walk the footsteps of a stranger, you learn things you never knew you never knew. Have you ever? So I love that song, actually. Very beautiful song. And yeah. And the same thing, do unto others you have done. That's why, the whole thing, that divided, him and Pocahontas, the racism. You the savage. Well, first of all, I'm not the one going around, tearing up your town and pillaging the villages and things like that. So how am I the savage? And because you look like this, that is the most dumbest thing, especially to somebody who is spiritual. That is the most, to separate people by their colors. Because why? Because you're going to have to adhere to this universal rule one day. Do unto others as you have done unto you. So if one day you was white, you'll have another lifetime when you're black. You will get that experience, okay? You're going to get that experience. And then the other person who thinks somebody got it better, you think the white side got it better, then you're going to have that experience. Because all of these roads lead to oneness. It leads to understanding one another, as because once we go back to just being spirit, there's no male, there's no female, there's no color, there's no anything. What exists is consciousness and what we've gathered, that knowing. I'm not gonna hate you because that's the way you were created and made. If you find yourself, making fun of somebody because they're handicapped, don't worry. You're going to have that experience too. You're going to learn how to be without certain things so that you can learn how to adapt and learn how to overcome and to find out, that you're more than just your external being. You are a spiritual being. So we really need to learn that, to stop being prejudiced on how people look, because and people think, okay, well, it's okay to be that way and be prejudiced towards somebody. You're going to get that experience, sir. You're going to get that experience, ma'am. And why is that important? Because the universe is, reflecting that mirror back on you so that you can look at your inside. If you have that experience, let's say that you felt right in your racism, against whoever you felt like you felt right in that. Okay. So what the universe does is they take that experience and then you have another experience. And that other experience where you felt like you felt like you had injustice done because of your color, Now your soul is singing a different song. Now your soul is not so proud. Your spirit is not so proud about, hating somebody because of this and that. Now your soul is like, you know what? That's not right to do. So it's the alchemism, you don't see the alchemism in what the universe is doing. You know what? By giving you these different experiences. Once you stabilize your soul and saying that was right for me to do, then it's going to give you another experience, to counter that experience, because it's creating balance within you. Because remember, all you getting is the wisdom and the knowledge. And all it is like whatever's embedded in you, then it goes and gives you another situation on top of that, so that you can learn as a spirit to balance that information and say, you know what, you're right, that was not right. Hating somebody because of their color, their race is not right. So now I can account that as knowledge as wisdom, so that I can continue to grow as a soul. And that's how, God boils all that, out of you. Let's say you felt justified in your murder of children. Okay? You felt really justified in that. And that you was this evil in this person. You're like, oh, well, he just gonna go to hell. Do unto others. You about to get this experience. And he can give you, and God can give you a life where you come into this world, you have everything. You'll have your wife. You'll have this beautiful daughter that you love so very much. I'm going to say this is a trigger warning. If you're going to be triggered by this or whatever, you could turn this off right now. But this is for the benefit of understanding, okay? So if anybody's going to get sensitive, this doesn't mean that, you as a soul, this is just an example, okay? You can have the next life, you can have a wife, you can have it all, and you can have a child. And then soon, as you turn around out your yard, somebody takes the love of your life, your little girl, and they take her and do the same thing you once did in the past to somebody else's, little girl. And what happens? What happens within you is you start to ask the questions within your spirit. Why did God allow this to happen? Why is this? Why would a human being take somebody that they love so much and treat it like it was garbage? How can somebody take the love of my life? How can somebody take this away from me? See? Because let's do this, because everybody wants to think in the world that they're all innocent. No, not one of us are. All of us, what they say, have sinned and fall short of the glory. All of y'all up in here, all of us up in here, some murderers. All of us used to be some killers, or some meaning in past experiences, you know what I'm saying, past lives and things like that. Because whatever situation God put us in, or we were born into, is probably could have been some savage situations and how you were raised and things like that. But God's mercy and grace allowed us to come out of, that. Okay. And now that we live different lives as souls, then we're able to counteract whatever that was with a new life. And now I'll just say this, we're getting it from a soul understanding. You yourself in this life may not get it, but your soul gets it. Your spirit gets it. Okay. So you could be like, well, I don't know what happened in the past, and I don't know. No, it's not for you to know, because we're on the realm of the subconscious, mind. And so all this stuff is it's not, you're not going to keep, any of this. You're just going to keep what actually is accounted, as wisdom, or what was imprinted into your spirit. If you can understand what I'm trying to say, what was imprinted, because a lot of souls, some of these people came out evil. They're really evil. There was a story about a little girl who took out her cousin. It was over, grandma said it was over an iPhone, but she was so smooth about it. The little girl, covered her so she can stop, and then cleaned up the crime scene and was very chill about what happened. And some of y'all, that inner stuff is in people and it crosses over. So it's a lesson, she has to learn on this, this side of shame, what happened. But let me, so I can get done with this. Judaism. What is hateful to you, do not do to your neighbor. This is the whole Torah. All that rests on is, this is the whole Torah. All the rest is complimentary. Okay, so yeah, same thing here. Do not do what you hate to somebody, because there's a lot of people out there who consider themselves enemies, that do sneaky things, that's like, I'm hurting you. But because the universe, for the umpteenth time, is a mirror, you're only hurting yourself, because you are going to have to, how do you say this? Whatever you try to serve to somebody else, you're going to get what you deserve. Think of it as being a table of that, especially when you're dealing with people and what you decide to put out. And there's a reason why in scripture it says, do good to your enemies. Okay. If that's possible, when it's possible, don't get too close. If act accordingly. Okay. Why? Because you're setting up the table, and what you're putting out is good energy, and you're putting out good things, and you're putting out, things that represent your spirit. Because when the table, it's a rotating table. All right. You giving out. That's what you're giving out. And you thinking you giving it to them. But it's a rotating table, because sooner or later, seasons change. God gonna turn that table around and say, you eat it. Would you eat what you put out to everybody else and what you do to everybody else? Would you eat that? You got to eat that plate, finish that plate, Mr. Shark. What's his name? Kevin. Finish that plate, Mr. Shark. You want to finish that plate. Whatever you put out, it's the same thing as energy. Whatever energy you put out, you're going to have to get back. If you don't like the energy you putting out, and you're only hurting yourself. Why? Because of oneness. God is trying to bring all souls. We are all God's creation. He's trying to bring us into the understanding of oneness. That you trying to hurt me is actually you, hurting you. Because we're supposed to be learning how to love each other and love one another and be on one accord with one another. There'll be really people really thinking in themselves, "Ooh, I'm going to heaven," but really out there, doing the most against people. You can't even learn how to live in a heavenly society. If you can't do right by people, you dangerous. You out there spreading rumors and gossip and all those things, keeping up mess. Come on now. Always in mess. Keeping up mess. Not only that, you like it. You like it. That's something wrong for a spiritual being to really just like being in those type of messed up situations, just because the gossip is juicy and it's so fun, and it makes you energetically feel some kind of way. How can you be in a kingdom society with that? That's the reason why people, they keep coming back, because it's a purification system. God is like purifying your soul, your spirit. He's purifying you, keep bringing you back until you learn them lessons, until you get it. You know, you put out something, okay, and you were sure that you was right for putting out what you put out. Now God is going to run you back through the ringer. Okay, so you like that, right? Okay, I'm going to give it to you and serve it to you. Let's see if you like it. Prime example. I was watching news. It was like over in Africa, where these Indian people like set up these little bodegas, but they was selling like roadkill or something like that or whatever, and they was giving it to like the African people. But the kids in the area was dying. Go look for that news story. The kids in the area was dying, but they wasn't caring. And some brave man confronted them. And he was like, you selling this plate? And they was like, yeah. He said, well, let me see you eat something from this plate. Eat something. And that Indian man was like, I'm not eating anything from it. Wait. This is your food that you're selling from your shop. Are you going to eat this? And he was like, no. And he was like, I'm not going to let you leave here. Need the red. I'm not going to let you leave here until I see you eat something from this plate. This man took the little piece off and he was like shaking a little bit. Because he knew that he was selling something that he had no business to other people, because in his small pea brain, you know, these people meant nothing to him. That person, them people that he knew that he got their money, and he's out there selling sick, dead animals, you know, to a people, because he's like, they not my people. There's something. No, I don't care what color they. We all are one as beings. So what happened was, I guess they brought them the issue up to their government. Did anything happen? Actually, they said no. They let them have their little bodegas there, and that they were just gonna, you know, inspect their food and meat more and all that stuff like that. That's real sad. But yeah, he was confronted with his BS. So you eat it. And so that everybody in the neighborhood can see, you know, this man, he putting out food at his little shop that he wouldn't even eat. That's kind of weird. Let me see. Islam, not one of you truly believes until you wish for others what you wish for yourself. You got to wish for others what you wish, you know, for yourself, because of the power of our intentions. You know, God go off what you intended, not what you know, you try to present to people that mask, or this is what I truly meant. Oh no, this was just a misunderstanding, you know, and this what happened. No. The universe knows your intentions, and what you get hit with is your intentions and what you intended to do. The Baha'i faith, Bahai, B-A-H-A-I faith. Okay. Lay not on any soul a load that you would not wish to be laid upon you, and desire not for anyone the things you would not desire for yourself. There's a lot of people out there that are putting weights and loads on people that they wouldn't, you know, want for themselves. There are jobs out there putting heavy loads on their workers without even giving them the pay that they know they deserve. You know, there's a scripture that says that the last will be first and the first will be last. Yeah, you may die a rich man in this life, but because the universe wants to show the reflection that you put out in that time, you know, it wants to project you back onto you. And it's crazy how, you know, you just be like, I don't like it. You know, why is this happening to me? Why, you know, this is happening in my life like this? What you're experiencing is just a projection of whatever you lastly in past situations or past lives already put out. And the only reason why I'm saying this is because, you know, right now you have the power to alchemize and change, you know, these situations now. You know, we are being present now, where we can actually examine ourselves. We can allow these situations that happen to us to come to us to boil out any imperfections or things like that that are, you know, keeping things blocked within us. So we're trying to open up all these chakras so we can allow life force energy to flow through us, so that, you know, that life, you know, begins to flow for us. So I think I'm going to end it right there. Thanks for stopping by and having coffee with me today. Come back and join me some other time. You know, the divine in me honors the divine in you. Ashe, and have a great day. Thanks for stopping in. If you would like to contact me, email me at cafestimulate@outlook.com. Thanks again. Bye.